All right, what do we got?
Do you have an update on Zai and how much time he's expected to miss?
Yeah, he's going to miss some time. He's got a lower body injury, so he'll miss some time. Makai Wingo has got a lower body injury. He's going to miss some time as well, so both those guys will miss some time. Right now, it's hard to say. Both of them are not practicing. We'll see what happens next week.
Hey, Coach, up here, to your left. What's the vibe of practice this week? Is it more laid back because it's a open date, or is it the same as it always is during a game week?
Yeah, we're very intentional about our work. We as you know, we're certainly a football team that needs to improve. We've identified a number of areas that we have to get better at. We're young in some areas. We're trying to develop depth. There are some players that are going to get an opportunity to compete that have not played a lot of football. So there's a lot of work over these next couple of days that our team needs these practice days, and we're taking full advantage. Now, we understand that you need some active recovery as well. And like everybody else in the country, we'll get out and do some evaluations, use some of our evaluation days. But clearly, this is not a, check the box, run around, camp 7-on-7. I mean, we need to get better.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you're very familiar with a guy like Tommy Reese. When you were first coaching with him, and he was even when he was a quarterback, and as the quarterback's coach, what made you think that he could be a good offensive coordinator? Just
a very, I think, insightful, smart, intuitive football person. I mean, he knows the game. But look, being a quarterback coach is one thing, and certainly he did a great job as a quarterback coach, but then when you're elevated to a coordinator's position, you also have to be able to have great relationships with all of your players. You have to organize a staff. And so, he brings much more than just being a guy that knows football. He's smart. He's savvy. Coordinators have to motivate and put together plans based upon the personnel they have. You've seen what he's done with the quarterback, and he's gotten better and better each week. So, I played him as a true freshman, and he was ready to play as a true freshman at Notre Dame. I think that says a lot about, who he is as a person, and he's always been ahead of the curve when it comes to things like that.
Hey, Coach. Denver and Deuce, are they both inactive at this point? And people have asked, what does inactive mean? Is that like a healthy scratch? Is that discipline? Is that the university? What is inactive?
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people have questions about their status. All I can tell you is that they're on scholarship, they're enrolled in school, but right now they're not participating. They're still in the program, they're still in good standing, but they're not able to play right now. So let's leave it at that. Let's be patient, and we'll see what happens down the road. No.
Hey, Coach. Andre Samba, one of his best games of the season on Saturday. What does his progression kind of look like since taking over that role early in the year?
That's a good question. I would say it's been patience, control, playing within himself. Thought maybe played a little bit outside of himself a little bit, excited to play, maybe played a little bit outside of himself, and now the game has slowed down for him, and you can see that he's, in the right place, not overrunning things. I thought early on in the season maybe played a little bit out of control. Just patience and, just much more in control as a player.
We saw Javian Toviano and Jeremiah Hughes play a good bit in the second half.
Yeah.
Just, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but those are obviously two guys you're probably going to try to get up for this game against Bama here in a couple weeks. Just talk
Yeah,
about
I would
their
say that they're in the
progression.
mix. Ashton Stamps should be ready to go. LaTerrence Welch, all those guys will be, certainly part of our rotation. We feel like all of them are capable of playing championship football. So it's our job to get them ready, and they're excited. We're excited about working with them, and we expect them to play well for us.
I guess just to follow up, just what does that look like in terms of just getting those guys ready who maybe haven't played a whole ton, this year, and just making sure that their minds are right and that, they're getting the kind of reps they need to, be able to play.
What does it look like?
Sorry, just
Yeah, no, I hear what you're trying to ask. I mean, they've been here for a while. Like, they've been on campus. They know what our expectations and standards are. So it's not like we're breaking the glass here, and rolling them out for the first time. They've been observing. They've been part of it. They've been traveling. They know what it's like. And we feel like they're ready to play. And it's always about opportunity. And I think that these guys, given the opportunity now, are prepared and ready to play. And so now it's getting them ready to, step on a field in front of, whatever, 80, 90,000 people against, a top 10 football team. And it's a little bit different there, but got great confidence in their ability.
Hey, Coach, up here, speaking of the Bama game, considering that this team is in a very identical position as they were in last year going into the Bama game, how would you compare and contrast this team from last year to this year and the position going into next Saturday?
Yeah, I respect the question. I just don't have, I just have never really spent time on compare and contrast, and I just stay focused on this team, and this is a different team. Each year is a different year. I think this team defensively is getting better. I'm excited about, what they've been able to do over the last few weeks. Obviously, this is an offense that is elite and needs to continue to play at that level. I think if they continue to play at that level, they give you a chance to win every game. So, the moment is now for us, and staying in the moment means continue to work and progress defensively and continue to play at that high level on the offensive side of the ball.
Did something change with Makai or get worse about what he's dealing with since last week? Wingo?
No, not really. I mean, he's been playing, with, a nagging injury, and we just need to get him right. We'll see where it takes him, but he's been playing injured here for the last probably 2-3 weeks, and getting him in a position where he physically can play at the level he needs to is the most important thing.
And as y'all try to figure out exactly what cornerback's going to look like for the Bama game and then moving forward, of course, as well, just what kind of progress are you seeing in terms of the whole secondary playing the ball in the air and getting better in that regard?
Well, I mean, I don't know what our interceptions were leading in the secondary, but we had, 3 interceptions in the back end of our defense. We got 2 or 3 PBUs. Clearly, against, Auburn, we played really good pass defense. And then Missouri, we had, a couple of interceptions there. So I think since we've settled on a structure defensively, I think we've seen the progress necessary to say that we're playing the ball much better in the air and we're making the kind of progress necessary. And we're going to have to be in that realm to continue the kind of success that we want to have. Our safeties are going to have to make plays, and our corners are going to have to continue to make plays.
Hey, Coach, I know you've talked about, you learned that when you coach in the SEC, every game is so tough to win and whatnot. But after you walked away from that game last year, LSU Alabama, did you kind of walk away with something like, oh, this is special, or this is different when these two teams get together and they play?
Oh, yeah, there was no difference. And there was a huge difference in terms of just the atmosphere, playing Alabama, the week, going into it. It was what it was, it lived up to the hype. Let's put it that way, certainly. And there'll be a lot of it, leading into this game. Our guys clearly know who the opponent is, what the game means, especially for us with a loss already in the conference in the West. So, we know what it means in that respect, but it's also Alabama. So, yeah, it definitely has a rivalry, big game feel. There's no doubt.
Brian, a lot of people, us in the media, fans, probably were writing you guys off after a second loss, and then you've played maybe better and better the last 3 games. Has confidence come back? Was it ever lacking? Is that ever changed? What component of the way you guys are playing right now is that for you? And what do you see in this team?
I just think that there were so many factors involved here. I think I've said it, a number of times. I think our structure needed to, be clearly defined. I think, putting the pieces together in a manner that allowed our guys to trust each other, do their jobs as 1/11th of the group, allowed us to build confidence as a group. And then you got to make some plays, right? We made some plays, and it had spilled on. It has, obviously gave the guys and the unit more confidence, and you get confidence by making plays, and they hadn't made a lot of plays, quite frankly. So structure, trust, and making plays, I think those 3 components coming together has allowed this defense to play better. Now, again, we have a long way to go. I mean, we're going to play some really good football teams with certainly Alabama, Texas A&M, Florida, and Georgia State's a pretty darn good football team as well. So we still got some work in front of us. To really have this conversation right now is a little bit premature, but we're making the progress necessary. And then our offense has to continue to excel at the highest level, because they're going to play some really good defenses too. So all we know is that we got 4 games left, and we put ourselves in a position. Now we got to see where we are over the last month.
After you had a chance to go back and look at the tape, what did you notice about your offensive line and the way they played in the absence of Emory Jones, and really the growth that you've seen from them since you came here, and where the offensive line stood last year till now?
Yeah, I think it's probably much more about consistency and performance than it is any one individual. They're really confident in what they're doing and how they're doing it. They communicate really well. They pass off stunts. They work combinations really well. They just work as 5 really well. And even when you take an Emory Jones out of it, Hurd steps in there, and it almost seems as like, he's been there for a while, and he's just a true freshman stepping in. But I think it's really about the 5 guys working together more than anything else as a unit, than any one individual guy standing out. Good? All right, thanks. Appreciate it.